You can find some of my videos in MP3 form at JasonGallant.ca. Over the centuries, many yogis have spoken about the grand distraction. The distraction from truth, the distraction from that unconditional experience within. And they talked about the source of this distraction comes through the mind and the mind's interpretation of the five senses. So many people come to the spiritual path and they're saying, I have a problem. This is happening in my life. I need this fixed. And it's important for people to understand that that is a part of the distraction. If I give you a never-ending list of problems, aren't you so busy fixing those problems that you may be distracted from something else, something deeper, something that is beyond the problems and solutions? So when you know that life serves as a grand distraction from something that is deeper and within, then you can still play the game of life. You can still, solve and survive and do all these things that have to do with the physical body. But you're never fooled by that. You're never fooled by thinking that that is the entirety of your experience of life. That the source of all your joy and everything comes from the problems and from solving them. That's why so many yogis and so many people that have near-death experiences, so many people that have experiences where they are forced to give up. They're forced to give up on this game of solving problems, of fixing. When they're forced, then they discover something within, and that is the divine experience. The experience that is within all of us. It's within you, and it's always there, and it has nothing to do with measuring, has nothing to do with thinking, has nothing to do with analyzing, has nothing to do with common sense. It's just there anyway, regardless of what you think about it. Regardless of whether you have a judgment or whether you're a believer of some faith or not, this experience is within you. And there are many ways to, trick your mind or tie your mind up in knots, kind of like jujitsu, so that you just let go of the mind for a moment and then something within emerges. When something within is realized, when this something that is really nothing, but when this is realized, then the problems of life become more interesting to you, because then they are a game. They're not something to be taken so seriously. They're not something to suffer over. So sometimes you'll see yogis that have incredible realization or incredible levels of spiritual attainment all of a sudden look like they're taking life very seriously. They're just going right into the game and playing and having fun and fixing problems and changing the world and doing all this kind of stuff. But it's not happening from suffering. It's happening from joy. It's happening from a movement of their own love, and they're actually in love with the suffering. You see, there's a lovemaking that happens with this reality. But it's not happening because they are suffering. They are just moving, and a natural thing that happens when a person is in a state of love is that they want to share who they are. It's not about sharing material possessions or any of that, but it's about sharing of the deepest of the source of who they are, the primordial you. That always wants to be shared. So sometimes these actions that these yogis take, or these spiritual teachers or gurus or spiritual great ones, you could say, spiritual superstars, whatever, the things that they're doing have to do with a sharing of the truest essence of who they are. But it's not coming from a place of fixing. It's not coming from a place of needing to change things. It's more about the changing kind of happens as a side effect of the sharing of who they are. See, so it's the opposite of judgment. It's not about judging anybody or condemning. It's not really that. So this is also in you. So many people come to this channel and they're saying, I don't know who I am. You don't need to know who you are. Just you being here is sharing of yourself. And can you do that? That's really the question. Can you just be here with another human being, regardless of what game is happening? Can you just be here? Can you just be here with life? No matter what is happening in life, can you be here with it? And as you do so, there is a sharing that's going on, even if you're not aware of it at first. And that sharing will change your experience of life. It will start to take care of you. It will start to do things that are beyond what you understand. But that sharing is going to bring about the life of fulfillment for you. Let's just put it this way. In a technical age that we live in, we're always with cell phones and cameras, and even right now I'm using my camera to film myself, and I have to use the Wi-Fi on the camera to see if I'm in the shot or not, to adjust the exposure and all this, okay? So you are also a Wi-Fi, right? But so many people out there talk about, oh, if I think, the power of positive thinking, all this kind of stuff, and that's really still, that's just kindergarten stuff. That's not really spirituality. It's not the true embracing of who you are. Because who you are cannot be understood. Who you are cannot be thought of, and it cannot be manipulated. Who you truly are cannot be manipulated. It is the source. It is the one unchanging state that is within. Now, when you are here with that state, what happens is that you are giving over control to the perfection that also created you. And by doing so, it knows exactly what to do. This information within you, it's like a computer app that's within that automatically understands how to download the latest patches, no matter what the astrology is, no matter what problems are going on in the world, no matter what's going on, the latest downloads are within when you surrender to them and allow them to be shared forth with your life. It's the opposite of control. This is why I always speak about surrender, why I always speak about giving yourself over to this moment, because that surrender gets you out of the way, so that way you open, and then the divine perfection within is shared with the reality before you. And through that lovemaking, everything is just fine. So often when people come to me with their problems, I will help sometimes, but it is only an excuse to connect, but it's not necessarily the solution. The solution itself is to be with this moment. Just surrender to it. Surrender to the feelings that come up. Surrender to the thoughts and let the thoughts go. Stop creating more thoughts and more worries and more obsessing about certain things should be this way or that way. Let it all go. Give up the game, right? You can go back and play in a few minutes, but just give it up for just this moment, right? It's important to take breaks. I play the game very seriously. Sometimes I go into the game and I play very seriously, but then I withdraw again, you see? So it's like an out breath and an in breath. It's like who you truly are is always breathing. Your out breath and then in breath. Give up the game. Okay, now play the game seriously. Take it all seriously. Everything needs to change. I got to do this. I got to do that to survive. I got to take care of this. I got to have a relationship over here. And then as soon as that becomes suffering for you, then boom, just let it go. Now in breath. Let it all go. Let the thoughts unravel. Let the feelings unravel. Even physical sensations sometimes are also a part of it. And let go of your judgment of those, your worries about those, worries about your own mortality. Let it all go. Just take a break from the entirety of the game of incarnation. You don't have to be a religious person to do this. You don't have to be even a spiritual person. Just give up the games that you play. The game of taking life seriously. The game of taking this part of life seriously. The game of taking survival seriously. Clinging to your last breath. Even take a break from that. What will emerge is something very much like silence. And in that silence, when you move forward again, when some part of you feels like moving forward, there will be more love in it. The silence takes action through love and joy, not through suffering. You'll just realize at some point that you don't have to take life seriously because it's not permanent. No matter how much you mess this life up, it'll end. No matter how many mistakes you make, at some point they're just moments of time that just fade away. So if you wish to be free from suffering, you must embrace the permanent, embrace the immortal, the state that is unchanging, which is the silence that is always emerging within. The silence is always there. Spacious silence. The place that is underneath all thought, but is not thought. It's underneath all physical experience, all mental experience, all emotional experience. It's as silent as the snow. Just fall deeper into that. You are not who you think you are. You just are. There are a lot of movements of energy around you in your life, but that movement is not the source of you. You are something at the core of all of it. And just immersing yourself in that unconditional state, just being here so deeply that you're not trying to fix or manipulate or change anything. Just being here in that state is all that is needed. As this is embraced, then when it is time for action, the action will come from the foundation of your own self, your own movement of unconditional happiness or joy or fulfillment, not from mind excitement or worry or need or suffering. So embrace the silence within. And the crows are agreeing with me. So I hope this helps. Take care for now.